Once upon a time, in a beautiful ancient forest, where the trees grew so tall they seemed to touch the sky, there lived all kinds of creatures, big and small. The forest was a place of peace, where everyone lived together in harmony. Every morning, the animals would gather in the great clearing, a special place at the heart of the forest where everyone was welcome. On the great boulder sat Elder Marlow, the oldest and wisest creature in the forest. He had lived there for over 100 years, and every morning, the young animals would gather around him to hear his stories and learn from his wisdom. But not everyone in the forest appreciated the slow, peaceful way of life. There was one creature who was always in a hurry. His name was Dash. And Dash believed there was nothing in the world more important than being fast. Every day, Dash would race through the forest at top speed, showing off to anyone who would watch. He was the fastest creature in the forest, and he made sure everyone knew it. Elder Marlow never hurried. He moved through the forest with slow, thoughtful steps. Dash found this absolutely unbearable. How can anyone move that slowly? He would think, tapping his foot impatiently. One morning, Dash decided to have some fun. He followed right behind Elder Marlow, walking in the slowest, silliest way he could. "Look at me, I'm Elder Marlow," Dash announced in a creaky old voice. "It only takes me 3 hours to cross the clearing." His friends burst out laughing. Elder Marlow stopped. He turned slowly and looked at Dash with his calm, gentle eyes. He didn't look angry, he looked kind. "Speed is a wonderful gift, young Dash," Marlow said quietly. "But it is not the only gift that matters in this forest." Dash just laughed louder. "The only gift that matters is being the best. And the best means being the fastest." He puffed out his chest proudly. "Watch this, old-timer," Dash shouted, and took off in a blur. He raced around the clearing 3 times in the time it took Marlow to blink once. The younger animals gathered around Dash with wide eyes. "You're amazing, Dash," they squeaked. "You're the coolest animal in the forest." Elder Marlow watched from his boulder and sighed quietly. He had lived a very long time. Long enough to know that pride and speed without wisdom can be a very dangerous combination. And so the days passed. Dash raced. Marlow walked. And neither one of them knew that everything was about to change. Then one year, the summer came early, and it came hot. Hotter than anyone in the forest could remember. The stream that once bubbled joyfully began to dry up. The grass turned brown. The flowers wilted in the heat. The animals grew worried. Water was running low. Food was becoming scarce. The forest, once full of life and laughter, became quiet and nervous. Elder Marlow called everyone together. "We must be careful," he said in his slow, steady voice. "The forest is dry. A single spark could set the whole woods ablaze." But Dash wasn't worried at all. Fire in a forest this big? "That old turtle worries about everything," he muttered, and went back to napping in the shade. Elder Marlow, however, was very worried indeed. He began to move slowly through the forest, remembering every path, every stream, every safe place he had learned in his 100 years. There was one place he remembered, a place he had not visited in many, many years. A place that could save them all if danger ever came. Dash kept racing through the forest as if nothing had changed. Speed was all he cared about. Speed was all he knew. But Elder Marlow knew something Dash did not. In a forest this dry, danger doesn't walk slowly, it runs fast. It started with lightning. A single bolt splitting the sky, striking a dead tree at the edge of the forest. For a moment, nothing happened. just smoke and a soft orange glow. But then, the flames roared to life. In seconds, the fire spread from the tree to the grass, from the grass to the bushes, from the bushes to the trees. The forest erupted into chaos. Animals screamed and ran in every direction. Dash woke with a jolt. He smelled smoke. He saw flames. And for the first time in his life, Dash was afraid. Which way? Dash shouted to himself. He ran left, flames. He ran right, flames. He ran forward, flames. Everywhere he turned, the fire was spreading faster than even he could run. For the first time in his life, being fast didn't matter. Dash froze, too terrified to think. Then, through the smoke, Dash heard a voice. Slow, steady, calm. Dash, stay where you are. I'm coming. It was Elder Marlow. The old turtle he had mocked just days before was walking straight into the fire. To save him. We're surrounded, Dash cried. There's nowhere to go. But Marlow simply said, yes, there is. Follow me. And trust me. And so Dash did something he had never done before in his entire life. He slowed down. And he followed. Through the flames they walked. Slowly. Carefully. Marlow knew every inch of this forest. Every safe stone. Every clear path. When a burning branch fell in front of them, Marlow didn't panic. He simply found another way, and Dash followed. And then Dash saw it, a dark opening at the base of an ancient tree. A cave he never knew existed. Inside, quickly, Marlow said, they stepped into the cool darkness. And behind them, the forest burned. The cave was bigger than Dash had imagined. Cool water flowed through it from an underground spring. Soft glowing moss lit the walls. It was safe. It was perfect. Dash sank to the ground. His legs wouldn't stop shaking. He had come so close to he couldn't even think about it. Outside the cave, the fire raged on. But inside, they were safe, all of them. Because one slow old turtle had remembered. Dash looked at Elder Marlow. Really looked at him. The old turtle who moved so slowly. The one he had mocked and laughed at. That same old turtle had just walked through fire to save him. Had known where to go when no one else did. Had stayed calm when everyone else panicked. Dash slowly stood up. His legs still shaking, he walked over to Elder Marlow. Not quickly. Slowly. For the first time in his life, Dash didn't want to rush. He sat down in front of the old turtle. And for a long moment, he couldn't speak at all. I'm sorry, Dash finally whispered. I was so mean to you. I laughed at you. I made fun of how slow you are. And then you saved my life. Elder Marlow placed a gentle old leg on Dash's shoulder. I know you are sorry, he said kindly, and I forgive you. Speed is a gift, Dash, Marlow continued. But so is patience. So is knowledge. So is memory. So is wisdom. The forest needs all kinds of gifts, not just one. Dash looked at the old turtle, and for the first time, he understood. That night, the whole forest slept in the cave together, fast and slow, young and old, all saved by the one gift that speed could never give, wisdom. When morning came, the fire had finally burned itself out. The forest had changed. Some trees had burned, but many had survived. And already, tiny green shoots were pushing up through the ashes. One by one, the animals stepped out into the light. They looked around at their changed forest, and they were grateful. Elder Marlow climbed onto his boulder. The whole forest gathered around. We survived, he said simply. Because we were together. Because we remembered. Because we helped each other. And the animals understood. They had survived not because any one of them was the fastest or the strongest. They had survived because they were a community. Dash stood in front of everyone and apologized. Not just to Marlow, but to everyone he had ever boasted to or looked down on. "I thought being the fastest meant being the best," he said. "But I was wrong." From that day on, Dash still ran. He was still the fastest creature in the forest. But now, he also listened. He also learned. And when Elder Marlow spoke, Dash sat down and listened. And sometimes, on quiet mornings, you could see Dash teaching the youngest animals, not how to be the fastest, but how to be careful, how to remember, how to think ahead. The forest grew back, greener than before, stronger than before, and so did the animals who lived in it. And if you ever visit that forest, you'll find Elder Marlow still sitting on his boulder, moving slowly, watching carefully. And right beside him, you'll find a young rabbit who finally learned that sometimes the slowest way forward is the wisest way forward. And so our story comes to an end, but the lesson stays with us forever. Remember, the world needs every kind of gift. Fast and slow, loud and quiet, quick and careful. And when we respect each other's gifts instead of mocking them, when we work together instead of competing, that's when we become truly strong. So the next time you're tempted to rush ahead or laugh at someone who seems slow, remember Elder Marlow and Dash. And remember that wisdom is not about how fast you move, it's about where you're going and who you bring with you along the way.